we're going to go ahead and jump into Google Classroom. So 2 ways that students can get to Google Classroom. They can simply enter in classroom.google.com, as we've done here, or whenever they open a new tab or even a new window, they will have the Google Apps button up here in the top right corner. And so if they click on the Google Apps button, then this is how they're going to be able to get to a lot of different services, but we're going to focus on Google Classroom for today. So I simply click on Google Classroom, or again, type in classroom.google.com, and it's going to take us to the dashboard. And the dashboard is where all of the classes for that student, each class will have its own little tile. So you can see right here that our test student has 2 classes. One is an advisory, and then the other one is a science class. And so these tiles are kind of made up of 3 different parts. We have the banner and the quick view, and then we also have the ability to jump into like a little grade book type thing if it is available for that by that teacher, and then also jumping into Google Drive. So, but before I jump into a classroom, I want to talk specifically about notifications, because one of the issues that we heard loud and clear from parents and students was that Google Classroom sent way too many emails and it became very overwhelming. So in the document, which I'm going to show off just real quick, we have a table that shows exactly what notifications should be enabled and which ones should be disabled. The ones that are highlighted in yellow are kind of the most important ones, whereas the other ones can kind of be optional for the students. So like due date reminders, it is not required, but it would probably be a good thing, especially for some of our more forgetful students, to actually have enabled. So this is in that document that you can access from that TekEd site. So how to get to the notifications? It's in the document, but let's go through the process right now. So on the dashboard, I'm zooming in here so we can see a little bit better. On the dashboard in the top left corner, it is the hamburger menu option. So I click on the hamburger menu and it opens up a little side panel here. And from there, I'm going to go all the way down to the little cog, the settings, and open that up. This is where students can enable or disable certain notifications. So we definitely want them to have email notifications turned on. However, we want to make sure that they have the correct categories enabled and disabled. So for the comments section, students and teachers as well, they should have the first 2 options disabled. So we don't want students getting an email if somebody comments on a post. We don't want students to get an email if somebody uses the @ symbol to mention them, kind of like in social media. However, we definitely want our students to receive email notifications if they receive a private comment on a piece of work. That private comment comes directly from the teacher or co-teacher of that class. So that is very important. So we definitely want to have that turned on. First 2 disabled, third one definitely need to have that one turned on. Then we have, for classes that they're enrolled in, this next one, we have to have students turn this one off, even though I turned it on. Turn it off. There we go. We want to make sure that our students are going to have this turned off. During the boot camp week, I will make sure that I show them how to turn these off. Advisors will make sure that private comments are turned on and that work and other posts from teachers are turned off. And then the other ones are kind of going to be up to the student. We do have some recommendations. Returned work and grades from teachers, that might be a good one to have turned on. It's certainly not a requirement. The students can always go back into Classroom and check to see if they've got returned work or graded work. Invitations to join classes as a student, one is going to be irrelevant. Just having it turned off is perfectly fine. And then the last one here is due date reminders. And this is probably a good one to have enabled simply because it will send, I believe it's a day. So if there's an assignment that's coming up within a day, then the student will get an email just saying, hey, you know, you've got your food web assignment that's due tomorrow at 7 p.m. It is a nice little safety net. So those are the notifications and what they should have turned on and turned off. And then the nice thing is they can actually expand class notifications down here at the bottom, and they can turn off all of these notifications for specific classes. So within an advisory, I'm going to recommend that students don't have notifications turned on. Advisors are going to be posting things like student goals, parent goals, all these other things, and they'll put due dates on them and all that. But that's not something that we really want the kids to have to manage within their email. So we're going to have that turned off for an advisory. But for their core classes, we want them to have those notifications up here. We want those notifications to be turned on for those specific classes. So I'm going to click back on the main menu hamburger button here, and I can navigate to a particular class, or I can just go back to the dashboard. So I'm going to head back to the dashboard real quick. So now we're back at the tiles for the classes. And what I can do, I can actually rearrange these. So once a student has all their classes, they can arrange them in order of their schedule. So it's a little bit easier to navigate. But then if they want to go into the class, they're going to click on the banner, or they can click on the title of the class. Before I do that though, I want to talk about the quick view. So in the quick view, teachers are strongly being encouraged to use due dates. The due dates for Upper L are simply to be able to have those assignments automatically post to Google Calendar and to have it show up here in the quick view. Now, middle school and upper school, that's a different story because that's where the grading process comes into play. The nice thing is that it's going to post just as we see here. So here in our 7th grade, 3rd period science class, due on Friday is a biomes and taxonomy quiz. So what I can do as a student here is I can click on this link and it's automatically going to take me to that assignment. So I'm going to do that real quick, but I'm going to back out. So just to show this off, I'm going to click to open it. And here it takes me directly into the assignment. So a student can complete the attachment, but then they can also come in and add additional stuff from Google Drive, or they could post a link maybe to an online thing where they're creating something and they can link to that, or they can upload a file directly from their computer. Here is also where I can make a class comment. So this is where the entire class, my teacher and my fellow classmates, would be able to see me posting something on this. This quiz was so easy. So that's going to be, that'll be on display for all students as well as the teacher. But if a student has a confidential question, they can come over here to the private comments section. And this will only go to the teacher. And so the student might say, Mr. Brendel, now if I click on the actual name up here, it's going to take me into the stream. So I want to talk about the stream, classwork, and people a little more in depth now. The stream is basically the social media aspect of Google Classroom. We are instructing the teachers that the stream is only for supplemental information. That would just simply be students. I found an interesting video about ecology. You know, if you have time, you're interested, you can watch this quick little video. Or here's, you know, the teacher posted, check out this website about food webs. And so this is supplemental. It is not required. It is not attached to any works or assignments, tests, quizzes, notes, nothing like that. And then the classwork is where students are going to have to go to find works, to find assignments, and anything else, tests, notes, quizzes. So on the matter of Zoom links and just video conferencing in general, Google Classroom, because it is a Google product, integrates with a lot of the other Google services, including Google Meet. And this is one of the main reasons why we're going to move our teachers over to Google Meet. And it's because in Google Classroom, here is the Meet link. Under classwork, there's another dedicated button that goes, it's the same link. It's just, you have two possible places. So you could go to the stream and click on the link there, or you can go to the Meet and the button here under classwork and you can click on it there. You can simply go to classwork to either find your Zoom link or to get to the Google Meet link. So if I open up classwork, you can see here that we have a list of 5 assignments. They are broken up into topics. We have ecology and body systems. Over here on the left, we have filters. So I can filter out and only show ecology if I wanted to. So here are my assignments just for ecology. The teacher also has the ability to rearrange these. And so we're telling teachers to drag the current topic to the top so that when a kid goes into classwork, the first thing that they see is the current topic of discussion. So they can say, oh yeah, ecology, oh, got my quiz, got to make sure that I'm prepped for that because we're having the quiz on the 7th, okay? And so to get into the assignment then, a student simply has to click on the assignment to expand the details. And if there are instructions, the instructions will appear here. Let me see if I've got, there we go. So here are some instructions right there from the teacher saying, open the Google Doc, follow the instructions. Don't forget to turn it in completely when you're done. So that's one other thing that we noticed students struggled with, and I'm going to go through that process with y'all now. So I am a student. I've got my assignment here. I can click View Assignment to go back into that view. And so here are some private comments that I set up earlier for this Food Webs activity. So I said, Mr. Brendel, I can't move the labels on the diagram. Can you please help? And then my teacher responded, Darth, did you double click on the image? Now I can open it. And now I can edit it. There we go. So then here is my little food web. I've got items over here that I can drag and drop. And just like that, my food web is complete. Okay, there it is, updated with the pictures as I dragged and dropped them. So now I'm done and I'm ready to turn it in. And this is what's great, is I have a dedicated turn in button right here. So I'm gonna click turn in. It's actually gonna go back into Google Classroom and it's going to say, are you sure that you want to turn this in? So the students have to confirm that they want to turn this in. So they're gonna say turn in. If they hit cancel, it doesn't actually turn the assignment in. So you'll notice it still says assigned, meaning they need to complete it. So they can turn it in from the doc just as we were doing here, or they can come directly into the assignment and hit the turn in button there. Again, they get a confirmation, are you sure? And they have to say yes, turn it in. Once they've turned it in, then it will display as being turned in. So I can, if for some reason I needed to, I realized I made a mistake, I can unsubmit that document, make my changes, and then turn it back in. The thing though, is that anytime that happens, there is a log of activity for that assignment. And so if a student is unsubmitting, resubmitting, unsubmitting, resubmitting, turning it in late, things like that, the teacher is going to be able to pull up that log and see exactly when they started it, if they unsubmitted it, if they resubmitted it, and all those things. And that's a way for teachers to check in on students to say, hey, I noticed that you unsubmitted and resubmitted that assignment multiple times. Is everything okay? Did you understand it? Do you need maybe some one-on-one help with that particular assignment? What's going on? The teacher also has the ability to jump into that student's document and see them working in real time. So as the kid is clicking and dragging, the teacher can open that document and see that clicking and dragging occurring. And then the teacher can also leave comments within the document itself. So it's a really neat and well-integrated system. Going back to classwork, once a student has turned in an assignment, it'll change colors to this kind of grayed out just to give the student a visual that that's something they've already done. They don't need to spend any more time on it. And then anything that is colored, so this class's theme is in purple, so that will change from class to class, teacher to teacher. So the theme may be blue. So whatever active assignments that they need to complete will be some color associated with that class. But if they have already completed it, then it will be this grayed out color always. The last part of Google Classroom then is the people. And this is really all there is to it. The students really don't have much that they can do in the people section except for see who their classmates are. On the teacher's side, there's a lot more things that the teacher can do from the people part of this. I went back in and graded this taxonomy notes for Darth Vader. And so if Darth clicks to expand the details, Darth will notice that this assignment has been graded. And so, oh, great, it's been graded. Maybe I got an email notification because of how I have my notifications set up. I can click view assignment to see further details about this. And oh, hey, look, Mr. Brendel left me a private comment about this assignment. Nice work, Darth. So he was happy. Apparently I did pretty good. And boom, there we go. I did great because I got a 100 out of 100. That is really Google Classroom in a nutshell.